Welcome everybody to season number 5 of the Wolfsburg rebuild. We are at the halfway point of this challenge, this rebuild, to try and oust what I call the big one or the big three in Germany, Bayern Munich, Leipzig and Dortmund being those big clubs, and then obviously there's that raft of clubs that is below them. As I say, we're at the halfway point and we're making slow but steady steps. It's like the tortoise and the hare. Unfortunately, we're the tortoise at the moment, and we're just taking our time a little bit. Not through the lack of trying, though. Believe me, I've been trying to improve the squad. I'm trying to use this different tactic as well. Instead of just doing the usual 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, I wanted to try something a little bit different. Finally starting to adapt to it after 5 seasons, thankfully. Obviously, we haven't really won anything yet besides the Conference League. But let's see if we can build on that for this season. So, without further ado, let's go and have a look at the finances. As you can see, I've still got 53 million in the transfer budget, and we've got 85.5 million in the bank. We have no debts or loans, which is absolutely fantastic. But there has been transfer movements. Obviously, you can see there, I did try to bring something in, and for some reason, it just didn't go through. I have no idea why, but it is what it is. So transfers wise, before the tick over, nothing happened on ins. On outs wise, the only one that went was Patrick Wimmer. He went on the 18th. He went out on loan. I'm not going to use him again. He's out of the squad as far as I'm concerned. But we did make another 50 million in sales. Bartel Franjic has gone to Brentford for 25 million initially. I don't know why it does that. 32 million all in all, which I think is a really good deal for... He's a good player, but I can find better. Jakub Kaminski has finally gone. He's gone to Sevilla. Facundo Torres only lasted 1 season. He's gone to Nice. Koulirakis has gone for a couple of million. Back to Greece. He's gone to Athens. And just a couple of other youngsters being sold and a couple going out on loan. So as you can see here, Andreas Dahl is a new player. He's gone back on loan to Midtjylland, and he is a new-gen midfielder with a very, very good potential ability. And I thought, I'll snap him up now, get him for next season, give him a season at Midtjylland. In fact, actually, I think it's only half the season, if I remember rightly, his contract at Midtjylland. Oh, no, it is the full season now. So he'll be with us for season number 6. But I did invest a little bit more in youth, I'd say, more than anything else. Shaquille Van Persie, obviously most FM players are going to know. Robin Van Persie's son is actually classed as a bit of a wonder kid on this game, as you can see. Good potential ability. For some reason or other, I found him, he'd left Feyenoord and he'd gone to Schalke, which is a weird move. I didn't expect that. But a couple of seasons in Schalke, I brought him in. He hasn't scored anything yet, but he's only had 4 starts in total, 2 goals, but 2 of them were in the Pokal. Not a bad start, actually. I think he could make a good partner for Maximilian Bayer. Fingers crossed. Andreas Dahl, we've already done. Marc Bernal is a Barcelona central midfielder. Again, a squad option to bulk out that midfield. It seems we are using 4 central midfielders, really, technically speaking. So, very good pass on the ball, great vision, young, plenty of manoeuvre to improve, so fingers crossed we've got a decent one there. And Felix van der Meer from Sparta Rotterdam, again another regen, a very good potential 4-star. I think having these attributes already is pretty decent, and I'm hopeful that he's got the consistency there that he'll start producing pretty sooner rather than later. But I'm not going to pin him into the season. As you can see, the tactics is still the same. But I've actually put Van Persie and Martel. I wanted to give Martel one last shot, so to speak. Whether that's going to work or not, I don't know. Squad-wise, we are looking very, very good. Marmadashvili in goal. In fact, actually, if I go back to the tactics and put in the best 11 instead, Van Persie moves over to the pressing forward and Bayer goes up front. Arnold comes into that DM slot. Yeah, it's not happening. So I'll adjust all that before I do the simulation. But obviously we do have competitions this season. We are back in the Champions League. So I'm hoping that we at least get into the knockout rounds. Get out of the league phase, make some money there, and get into the knockout rounds. The Pokal, who knows what's going to happen there. avoid the big three if possible and see how far we can get. Gotta get a better performance in the Pokal sooner rather than later because it's really annoying me that I haven't even won it yet. So I'm going to go and simulate the season, find out how we get on. Halfway point, can we win a trophy to celebrate it? Come and join me after the takeover. This season could be seen as disappointing, but we actually made a few positive steps in the right direction. Now we're at the halfway point of the save. A 4-1 win versus Werder Bremen, a 3-2 win versus Leipzig. We're offset with losses to Frankfurt and Dortmund, 2-1 and 1-0 respectively. Weirdly though, our Champions League form was amazing. A 3-0 win versus Man City, 3-0 win versus Porto helped us qualify in the top 8. Sadly though, we came undone and in pretty spectacular style, losing 6-1 on aggregate to Feyenoord in the round of 16. That run in the Champions League seemed to affect our league form however, recording lots of draws between December and February, a 1-1 versus Hertha Berlin, Bayern Munich, Hoffenheim and Hamburg. But from mid-February, we only recorded one loss, which was a 4-0 hammering by Dortmund. But again, wins like 3-1 versus Leipzig, a 7-2 battering versus Freiburg, and a 2-1 win versus Hertha Berlin again kept us in contention for the Champions League qualifying spots, but it was all too little, too late, and we could only qualify for the Europa League. There is a silver lining, however, our DFB Pokal run, which was absolutely phenomenal. 6-1 versus Braunschweig, a 2-1 win versus Werder Bremen, but a 1-0 extra time win versus Bayern Munich in the semis led us to the final against Bayer Leverkusen, where we went on to win our first Pokal of the save and Wolfsburg's first Pokal since 2015, beating Leverkusen in the final. Well, there we have it, folks. Come on. Celebrating that halfway point of this rebuild, and we have got ourselves a juicy, beautiful, golden DFB Pokal trophy into the cabinet. The first one that we've won since 2015. And that is one little target ticked off. I wanted to get at least one Pokal in, but I'm hopeful that we're going to get a couple of more along the way now. We seem to be picking up a little bit of steam. Although, that being said, Champions League effort was fairly decent, but getting humped like that by Feyenoord was not good in my opinion. We did alright in the Champions League. I'll come to the league in a second. PSG won it in the final, but league phase wise, we qualified in the top 8. So we absolutely creamed it. 5 wins, Porto, Altash, Braga, I think that is. Man City was the best one, Montpellier. And then 2 draws, Galatasaray and Juve, and only a loss to Real Madrid, which, it's Real Madrid. What can you do? But then we missed the knockout round and we get knocked out in the round of 16 by Feyenoord 6-1 on aggregate, and that irks me. But what makes it even worse is the fact that it seemed to affect our league form. And okay, fair enough. We just missed out on the Champions League spot by two points. But it's still, for me, not good enough, especially when you look at past positions. And league form-wise, we've had an horrendous season. By my own standards, that's horrendous. We were there in the top 4 for up until the first 7 games of the season, and we just went and just dropped off. So I'm a little bit annoyed at that. Come on to this, and especially our form. We drew the last 2 games of the season, dropping 4 points. Those 4 points would have put us up into the 4th spot. So there has to be improvements made. How am I going to make those improvements? Well, I'll come on to the financials in a second. Let's go and have a quick look at the squad. Goals-wise, 21 from Maxi Bayer, 15 from Jonas Vind, 12 and 6 from Van Persie, and 12 and 6 from Asta Varangs. Okay, from central midfield, that's brilliant. From Van Persie, that is shocking. Even from Vind, that's not good enough. improvements definitely have to be made, because that output is nowhere near good enough. If we're going to make any sort of movements and improvements now, and like really challenge Bayern Munich and Leipzig and Dortmund, who again, get off that. Go back to the home. Who again, Dortmund, Bayern. Okay, Leipzig have dropped off, but it's Dortmund and Bayern. And when we look at the league history, past winners, it has been Leipzig, Bayern, and Dortmund. So that's the trio, the triumvirate that we have to catch and beat, because Wolfsburg haven't been anywhere close since 2014-15 when they finished second. And then obviously the only league title they won was 2008-2009 season. They've been nowhere near it. This is a tougher rebuild than I expected. I expected us to be further ahead here, but it hasn't happened yet, and I'm a little bit annoyed at myself that it hasn't happened. Looking at this as well, Eric Martel, he did play the vast majority of the season, 25 starts in the league. Hasn't really improved much. Will he stick around? I don't know. I don't know. For the players that do want to stick around and don't want to stick around, I've got 88, nearly 89 million in the transfer budget. There's going to be some spending for season number 6, but you're going to have to come and watch and find out what actually happens. Here endeth the episode, a reasonably successful one with the Pokal in the trophy cabinet for the first time in, at this point in time, 13 years. Is that right? Not 13 years. Hang on, 2015. 2020. Yeah, it is 13 years. Well, there we go. I couldn't even get my maths right. Right, guys, thank you very much for watching. It's a pleasure as always. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Tune in for season number 6 to see if we can actually take that next step up. I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.